Happy Friday, everybody. And for those who are celebrating, happy Halloween. I hope you've been having a very good week. I'm Kathy W. Welcome to the October 31st chat. Warm welcome, everyone, to Yarn with Heart. Do you have cups and yarn ready? Let's settle in for a Friday visit. First, a quick life update. The renovation here is almost complete. Just waiting on delivery of one item. And so, Friday videos are back on and all on schedule. No worries about possibly missing a day because of getting everything fixed up. October has been an exciting month, that is for sure. And now that the dust is settled, literally, I can start putting my upstairs yarn back in their shelves and back in order. All my upstairs yarn was safely packed away for the past month. And now, about today's video, some happy mail arrived last week. Also, I will share the great ideas from you, the Yarn with Heart community, from last week's comments about tools that you use when you crochet or knit. And I made some progress on a shawl. Although it wasn't a really productive week, I have finished a few small projects for the upcoming smaller than a bread box slideshow. Maybe let's start by talking about make-alongs. For those who have been busy working with their variegated yarns for the Something New make-along, please try to get your pictures to me sometime today if you can. Or if you are watching this video on Saturday morning, it will be okay to send the picture by noon on Saturday. Please do watch the November 3rd slideshow, as there will be a twist next month. And then, of course, in December, we begin the Something New Special Techniques edition. For those who like making smaller projects, the new make-along that we are trying out on the channel is the smaller than a bread box make-along. Pictures for that one should be sent to me by November 18th, and details about that make-along can be found in the October 17th description box and during the October 17th video. Thank you so much for the amazing response to both of these make-alongs. I am so happy that you are joining in, and everyone is so encouraging. For this month's project, I am again making dishcloths. I made one in crochet and two in knitting. The crochet one is from the book called here it is here, called Lily Sugar and Cream, the best of Lily dishcloths. It looks like this. I used a 4.5 millimeter hook and Bernat Handicrafter yarn in the color Potpourri. I don't know if I told you, this one is on page 11 of that book. Now for the knit ones, I made both of them using patterns by the Kitchen Sink shop, and the first one is a free pattern that I downloaded from Ravelry. The pattern is called I See the Light, and I used a 4.5 millimeter needles. The yarn is Knit Picks Dishy in the color Bumblebee. Now the third dishcloth that I made again is by the Kitchen Sink shop. This pattern was sent to me as a free pattern because of being on her newsletter. To join the newsletter, you can find that by looking at her Instagram. And the other way, the way that I joined, was by looking at the Estelle Suds pack of 12 different colors of that yarn, and then there's a link there to her e-newsletter. The pattern that she sent for this particular month is called It Had to Be You, and I also used a 4.5 millimeter needles, and the yarn for this one is Bernat Handicrafter in the colors Sun-Kissed Ombre. And now, for the work in progress that I was busy with this week, I worked on the Keone shawl. It was designed by Patricia Leafield, and the pattern is available on the Expression Fiber Arts website. Some of the time I worked on it, and some of the time I frocked it. So there was some of that going on as well. 1 second here. I seem to have a bit of tangling. 1 second. There, that's better. I have made forward progress. The yarn and the pattern are both gifts from a viewer, and Judy from Judy's Creations in Crochet and I are making this shawl at the same time. I hope that Judy is having an easier time keeping the stitch count correct. It is a shawl where I really do have to stay on my toes. So here it is so far. There we go. That's how far I am at this point. The colors and the yarn have been such a joy to work with. And for this one, the yarn is Moon Gleam fingering yarn from Expression Fiber Arts. And the hook that I'm working with is a 4 millimeter hook. Now next, let's chat about ways that you reached out to help each other last week. So in last week's video, I highlighted tools that I use most often, especially ones that I started using as a beginner. And today, let's continue the conversation focusing on the tools that you all commented about, either those that you found most helpful when beginning to crochet or knit, or ones that you started to use frequently as you got more experience. So here we go. First, handmade stitch markers are really helpful as progress keepers, although when making amigurumi, they are heavy. Instead, the extra large plastic stitch markers are easily opened and closed with one hand. When learning to crochet blankets, stitch markers are very helpful to mark the ends and beginnings of rows so the blankets don't end up unusual shapes. Small pink scissors at the dollar store work wonderfully to keep in a project tool bag. They're small and inexpensive. A retractable measuring tape is so handy too and takes up little space. Bent tip needles are great for sewing in yarn ends. Also, it is helpful to have lots of different sizes and lengths of crochet hooks and knitting needles. Years ago, there were only metal hooks available. Now there is quite a range of hooks to buy. Sometimes more expensive ones are more comfortable to work with. There are hooks available in plastic, acrylic, wood, and metal from all price ranges. All available to try and find the perfect fit. Ultimately, the viewer who sent this comment preferred inline Susan Bates. After finding the right hook, it is nice to think of donating your unused hooks along with yarn. It is handy to keep notion pouches in every project bag. In those pouches include scissors, tape measure, and stitch markers along with the hook. An idea to keep stash size manageable is to take a picture or printout of the intended pattern before ordering the yarn by jotting down which yarn to use right on the pattern. Then when the yarn comes in, try storing the yarn and pattern together. This process really helps that viewer. A tool that is so helpful is the Wool Genie. Love it. This viewer wishes she had known about it sooner. Helpful tools to include are really good needles for sewing in ends and a magnetic yarn holder. The yarn holder works fantastic for yarn that is wound into cakes. The viewer finds that this magnetic yarn holder can also be used for skeins, but often catches on the top and bottom of skeins and needs more tugging to get it loose. Fixed circular knitting needles eliminate the risk that sometimes can happen with interchangeable knitting needles, as interchangeables sometimes will not stay locked. Throughout the year, to make one's own advent, collect stitch markers, progress keepers, yarn needles, etc., and tuck them away in a bag with some flavored coffees, teas, and candies. A friend or family member can then fill an advent calendar with all the little treasures, as by December they are always a surprise again. Fun new notions to use during the new year. A Swift and yarn winder, both helpful purchases, especially once one starts buying yarn that comes in hanks. This viewer's favorite hook style is boy hooks. A row counter is very helpful, especially one that you can wear on the finger and just push the button to add a row. Embroidery scissors, the ones that have a slight curve upwards, are very helpful to trim ends without catching other threads. The Wool Genie is this viewer's most frequently used tool. A desktop ball winder is very nice as it is so quiet. After trying a number of Swifts, a Becca Swift is this viewer's favorite, and for crochet hooks, tulips and clover amour hooks. Wine corks on the ends of knitting needles work well as stitch stoppers. For stitch markers, yarn loops are classic, and others that work well are the tiny elastics for your hair, or the bulb markers, which can be purchased several hundred for a low cost. Stitch markers can be made using jump rings, seed beads, and E6000 glue. For stitch stoppers, there are ones that look like a figure 8. These work very well. For caked yarn, yarn cozies are great too. If this viewer is caking yarn, always makes a yarn cozy. A little woven basket, inexpensively purchased from the dollar store, can be used to hold notions. This is handy to keep on the table beside where one knits and crochets. Fill this basket with the essentials so they are always handy when needed. For example, scissors, tape measure, stitch markers, light bulb markers, darning needle, stitch holders, stitch stoppers, and a pencil. And the final one, consider extra light for the work area. This viewer uses an aught light. The extra light is helpful to position above one's head for better lighting. These ideas are typed in the description box so we can print them off and maybe help each other. Oh, also, the patterns mentioned here are also in the description box. Thank you so much for commenting and emailing about this. What lovely ideas and suggestions that we are sharing here. And the great thing about videos, it will help us all now and continue to help others long into the future. Next, some happy mail that I am very grateful about. Bonnie, a viewer, had designed a pattern for a Swiffer cover, and I was quite sure that some of my family members would appreciate receiving something like that. Through emails back and forth, Bonnie was willing to write out the pattern, and since she was not going to be making more than the one that she had made for herself, offered to send the remaining yarn to me so that I could make some with the same yarn that she used. We arranged to do a bit of a yarn swap, and Bonnie's package arrived looking like this. I am sure that this is too big a box for the yarn and a pattern, and of course before showing it here, I checked with Bonnie and she said that we can open this together on the video today. So here we go. Now first, let's see what's in here. Oh, a little gnome, a sweet little gnome. So cute. Oh, just a cute little sweetheart. And look at the colors. Oh. I don't know where to set it. I want to set it somewhere that it'll show on the video. Here, and it's it here. I don't know if it will balance. Yep, there. And the yarn, there we go. Beautiful, so soft. There we go. And it will work really well for that project. And I think, oh yes, this is the instructions. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Bonnie. There's something else in here. What is this? Oh, look at this. Wow. Oh, it's a sweet project bag. Oh my. Look at the beautiful embroidery on it, and it's got flowers and butterflies. Oh, it's so sweet. What a surprise. And thank you so much. How lovely. And what a cutie. And in some of my favorite colors. Look at, there's even a pocket on the back. Oh, Bonnie, thank you. Thank you so very much. Oh, thank you. Oh. Yeah, thank you. And now to end the video with some fun facts about sheep. And this is the quote for today. It's from page 10 in the book Knitting Ephemera by Carol J. Sulcoski. And she says some sheepy factoids. Sheep have good memories. Some scientists estimate they can remember people or events for up to 2 years. A single sheep can produce up to 30 pounds of wool per year, depending on its breed and other factors. The Navajo name for sheep is Debe, which means that by which we live. And there are an estimated 1,000 plus breeds of sheep in the world. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Enjoy your crochet. Enjoy your knitting. And I hope to see you next video.